Welcome back to BrokeN Boys. This is episode 95.
Yes, it is.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Mike.
And hope you had a good holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa.
Christmas is the only one.
What did I say about this before we started recording?
What?
You can't say that shit.
Everyone celebrates Christmas.
No, they don't.
Who doesn't?
There's literally a menorah on your computer right now.
That's like those Christmas candles, right?
No, man.
I'm gonna stop with this bit.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll find you help soon.
Yeah.
But if you don't celebrate any of those holidays, I hope you had a good Sunday. How was your week, Mike?
Week's been great. Definitely have already celebrated Christmas. Got all my gifts. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we did do a Secret Santa though. We did a Secret Santa. If you haven't seen our previous episodes, we're recording in kind of a weird order.
What? No, we're not. Mike's lying to you right now.
I'm not. But that was something we actually did. Was we did a Secret Santa. We had Vince drove down with John over the weekend, and he they both came down, hung out for a little bit. Colin came over as well, and we did our Secret Santa. I got Colin got me, and he got me T-Peb on vinyl, which is hanging
on the wall,
hanging loud and proud up on the wall. Yeah. And he also got me Clipping, the self-titled Clipping album on CD, which both of those are ones I've been meaning to get for myself for a long time now. So got.
I'm somewhat of a master gift giver.
Yes.
Who's never looked at a wish list before. So
definitely not. He just knew. To be fair, he probably could have for the amount of times we go into the record shop near our school, and I'm just like, I've been meaning to get that. I don't know, or I'm always looking for something. That was great, and I thanked him, and I can thank you again. Thank you. Let's see, I got Vince a little bit of a 3-parter. I got him like a really, really nice mechanical pencil. It's supposed to be like the best one, just like straight up, and will last him hopefully like a lifetime or some shit. But also it doubles as a stylus. Thank you. Doubles as a stylus too for his tablets, so he can kind of, if he ever needs to do both at once, can do it really nice and easy. Got that. I got him a new card game that we tried out as well called.
That was very fun.
Yeah, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, I believe is the order. Yeah. It's a weird ass name, but it's actually pretty fun. It's a fun game that I've done with my family before, and I was like, you know what? I think Vince would like that. So,
surprisingly intense.
It's very intense, yes. And then I also got him a bottle of Mike's Hot Honey.
Yeah. How long did it take you to collect your honey?
I have somewhat of larger output than some people do. So yeah.
Had to pollinate the flowers yourself.
Yes. I became a little bee as well,
Mike's Hot Honey. Why is it hot though?
Spicy flowers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anyway, but that was fun. Yeah. John got me, and he gave me a new Lego set, a Scout Trooper from Star Wars, a little head helmet, and I built that last night. Very good, very fun. He also got me this sick ass water bottle. It's a bunch of Minecraft ingredients and items and just awesome. I did drop it for the first time today
Oh.
on concrete, which I'm very good at.
Already.
As you can see, my normal water bottle's fucked up. So
Does it just like fall out of your bag? Or?
no, it just like falls out of my arm. Like I had to I was carrying my journal. Had my suitcase going in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my 2 water bottles, and I had my water bottles like this underneath my arm, holding my notebook, and I had the suitcase rolling on the ground. And then I moved my arm a little bit. The water bottle fell out, and so a couple dents there.
Nice.
That always happens.
Yeah, I have a couple of those in my head too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dad dropped you a couple times.
Mm-hmm. So did my mom.
Whether it was on purpose or on accident, that's still out. That's still out for debate. But.
Yeah. But I can relate to your Minecraft water bottle in that way, so
yeah. Yeah, I feel that. And then Vince got John. Got him a cool little toolkit for his motorcycle. Got him a scissors that nurses use for cutting clothes off of trauma victims to help with getting them looked at.
It's like these compact scissors. I think you could was it just called pocket scissors or something?
Something like that. They look like little glasses, and then you pull them out and flip them out, and they're just scissors. But they're very cool.
Yeah, no, it's sick.
And then also got him a cool keychain, but it didn't come in time. So yeah, it was very fun. We also got some sushi.
Yes,
that was good. $120 for 4 people, but still good.
It was, yeah. I mean, there's a sushi place near here that's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
What? And we've been meaning to take Colin there for a while now, but since John was here as well, we're yeah, let's go get some sushi.
Yes, sir.
Did that and got some ice cream bars, strawberry shortcake ones that you see in ice cream trucks. Well, it's kind of like that. It's
like the off-brand version.
Yeah. It was a little more mid than that one, but it's still good though. I mean, I love me some strawberry shortcake ice cream.
Yeah. Strawberry shortcake in general too. Angel food cake. I love angel food cake. You ever had? I'm sure you've had angel food cake.
I'm not sure. That sounds familiar.
It's made in a bundt pan, and it's very, very light and airy.
I'm actually not sure if I've ever had this.
It's delicious. It's very.
It
sweet.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm guessing it's strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, that's the cake that's used for strawberry shortcake.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I guess if that's what's in strawberry, I think I've only ever seen strawberry shortcake covered in shit. So
most of the time it doesn't. I don't think it's
I feel I usually don't remember there being a hole in the middle of it. I don't know. It was still really okay, gotcha.
It's very tasty.
Yeah.
And then we watched almost the entirety of season 2 of Barry.
Mm-hmm.
We were gonna watch Interstellar, but it was a little too long, even though we could have watched it in the time that we spent watching Barry.
Yeah. I mean, we kept giving you the option. We're
I know.
And you're like, no, I need to see this.
Because I haven't rewatched Barry since the first time I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So season 2 is so good. Did you finish it yet, or are you waiting for
No, I think we're going to finish it before school starts. I think we're going to try and finish the series before school starts, because we may not be able to pick it back up when school does come back.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, from what we were watching, and a lot of cliffhangers, but especially we're what the fuck happens from here?
Yeah, the last episode we watched was insane, and I love that episode so much.
Yeah, I need to watch. I know you were saying there's a whole hour podcast or something about him
there's
talking
an interview with
an interview.
It's either with Conan or somebody else, but they talk about just the making of that episode.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Insane.
Yeah.
But so good. If you haven't watched Barry, go watch that shit.
Agreed.
Fantastic.
It's short too. That was one of the main selling points for Vince and I. Is it's only 27 episodes, I think, and each of them are about 30 minutes long. So it's oh shit, we could just whip through this pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
It's great. Yeah, it's great so far.
And then, but how was the rest of your week after that?
You know, lot of RuneScape.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've. How many times have you seen the sun in the last week?
In the last week, hypothetically speaking. Well, I mean, my brain's debating whether I go with the bit or just like.
What bit?
Huh? Yeah. What bit? Well, you know, Christmas time has happened.
Is here.
Mm-hmm. What Christmas time was here?
Here.
It was yesterday, from when this episode's being posted, and definitely.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Over here serenading me on the pod. Yes. Have yourselves a merry little Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah,
Navidad.
anything that you celebrate in December time.
Navidad.
Or nothing that you celebrate in this. Yeah.
Could have just been a normal ass Sunday.
It could have been. I mean,
where nothing's open.
Yeah, I was gonna say normal ass nothing else is open, but yeah.
You can go see a movie.
Mm.
I've seen a movie on Christmas before. I think I saw Star Wars on Christmas. One of them.
Like one of the new ones.
Mm-hmm. Like The Last Jedi or something.
It's probably not a bad time to see it.
No, empty theater pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was kind of busy because other people had that idea too. They're like, "No, we got nothing going on. Let's go see a movie."
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, there's like this why can't I think of the word? There's like a place like sort of up near more Chicago. I think it's like actually closer to like Naperville-ish, but like it's somewhere in between there. Where it's like an arboretum that does a bunch of like Christmas lights stuff. Like they have like a lot of like really.
Are you talking about just like the usual arboretum?
I believe so.
Yeah, I've been there before. I don't think I've been there for Christmas lights.
Yeah. They do some really cool Christmas light stuff. They have like a lot of like lights exhibits, and like you know, a lot of like interesting patterns and like different like they have like different I guess exhibits is the best way to put it, but like, you know, you walk along the arboretum and then there's different sights to see. So like there's you know, whether it just be like lights going across a lake or like some that are like synced up to like the whole like Nutcracker suite or whatever. So like they'll be doing something like that. Or there's a hill full of like ornaments and shit that are all lit up. There's a lot of like cool stuff, and we go there every year, and like there's always different stuff there every time. And we did do that yesterday, me and my family.
You go on Christmas?
No, sorry, I was.
You dumb fuck!
You're
ruining the bed.
In my head canon, and as we are right now, we record these on Fridays, Colin. So, yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. So yesterday was Thursday.
I meant yesterday from when the episode comes out.
No, a few days ago from when the episode came out. Comes out. No, I'm talking in past tense.
The episode is coming out right now.
And so am I.
Aw.
Not yet.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
I'm gay for Christmas.
I'm gay for Santa.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're into the...
It's a horny time of year for me. Yeah.
I had a customer come in
Where the fuck is this story going?
I know. Hold on. It weirdly relates. He's a usual. He comes in all the time. He works at the school. He's somebody who like works at the transportation office, and he like writes tickets for people who aren't parked where they're supposed to be. He's a really nice guy. And he came in yesterday, and he usually gets like a pop, and he has like the subscription thing where you like get a free pop a day. But he didn't get pop. He got like 2 things Gatorade. I was like, no pop today? He was like, nah, last night was rough. And he told me that he does like mall Santa-ing kinda, where he like, you know, he goes and
yeah.
And I was like, were you like Bad Santa last night? Like I was referencing getting drunk.
Yeah.
But like the movie Bad Santa. And he was like, that's not what she said last night. And I went, oh, and he just kept making like sex references, and I was like, yeah. I don't think he caught my drift, but
yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
That does weirdly relate. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for him, I guess. I mean, I guess you asked about it. So.
I guess I did, unfortunately.
But yeah, I don't remember where I was. Coming out. That's right.
You're gay for Santa. Is what you said.
I did say I was gay for Santa for a bit.
Only for a bit.
Maybe not.
Well, not a long time.
it's a long bit. Oh. Yeah.
He has a long bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You heard it here first.
Safe.
But yeah, we do that. Went to that light show. It was pretty cool. I'm guessing.
What do you mean you're guessing? Shut up.
My favorite part every year is they have like this. I don't even exactly know what it's gotta be like a fucking really expensive piece of equipment, but it like they shine it onto like this line of like giant like evergreen trees or whatever, and it makes like 3D animations on the trees. Oh. So like there's like a whole bunch of like there's like one where like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like highly stylized, but like there's one where it looks like the trees are like breathing like in and out. Like you have it so it looks like it's moving. You can like snow is falling down on them. They get like wrapped up or whatever with Christmas stuff or whatever. It's always one of my favorite things to see. It's like
super cool.
That's so cool. It like it's one of those things where it's like you got to see it to like understand. I feel like, but yeah. Other than that, probably not really much that's happened.
Just more RuneScape and hanging out with the fam.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. How about you though? How has your Christmas week been?
Oh, it's been great, man. You know, we had, like you said, we had that Secret Santa. I worked over the weekend. You know, just very, very slow because everybody had gone home pretty much. Just excruciatingly long 7-hour shifts both days. But, you know, done with that. You know, went home on Monday. Went and relaxed, you know. Didn't do a whole lot. Just, you know, just enjoyed being with the fam as well. Saw Loki and the cats and just yeah, relaxed pretty much. Had my dad and my stepmom and had some family over at his house on Christmas Eve, and we'll have them over on Christmas Eve.
No, you're ruining it.
Well, we're recording
yes,
Friday,
we're recording on Friday. Yes.
So yeah, they're gonna have family over tomorrow, and we're just gonna. Yeah, we're not having like a full dinner. We're having like some good appetizers and dessert, and just hanging out, and yeah, just excited to do that. And then on Christmas, we're gonna go up to my mom's boyfriend's house, I think, and just have a nice Christmas morning. Don't know what else is gonna go on. I think my grandma's gonna come over for a bit. So
nice. Yeah,
it's gonna be good. And then you know, a week from Christmas, I go to Disney World. Disney World. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a good week. Just excited for this break, you know.
Yeah. I forgot one thing that I did. I forgot that on Monday I recorded this podcast. Yeah.
What?
I recorded this podcast on Monday.
You recorded this podcast on Monday?
Yeah.
Fuck. It is Monday, isn't it?
No, it's Friday. We record these on Fridays.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying on Monday I recorded this podcast.
Why did you record this podcast on Monday and not,
Well, you were there too. Why are you, like, accusing me of something?
What year is it?
So we listened to Kid Cudi this week. Kid Cudi.
Yeah, we listened to Kid Cudi.
Yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, we're like 15, 20 minutes in. We can start the artist analysis and get out of that bit that was way too long.
As they usually go on this pod,
yeah. If you remember last week.
You know
sorry, not next week. Or last week, I meant 2 weeks from now. If you remember 2 weeks from now.
If you remember 2 weeks from now,
you'll see a very long and drawn out bit at the end.
Let's just hype it up in this whole episode.
It's a really fucking good bit.
Yeah, it's so good.
The best bit we've ever done, honestly.
Yeah.
So get ready for that. You're gonna love that
Yeah.
for our spoilers, our Harry Styles bracket.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we would have said it at the end anyway. So
Would we have? Okay.
yeah, it's an arts analysis. We do brackets.
That's true.
But next week we have the Brokies.
The Brokies.
Let's go!
Yes.
Woo! Yeah,
Yeah,
baby! That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. Woo! All right, yeah, we listen to Kid Cudi for this artist analysis. Last artist analysis of 2022.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Let's
You ready
go.
to get into it?
I guess
Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? What do you want to do?
It doesn't really matter to me. Do you have any preference? Okay.
All right, you start.
All right, I'm starting. Okay, Kid Cudi artist analysis. So, I think he has a lot of like little mixtape projects that happen, but we just did the what I think are mostly considered to be his albums for the most part. So, yeah, I just want to preface that because I think he has a lot of stuff before this. But his first official album, as far as I'm aware, is Man on the Moon, The End of Day, released in 2009. And yeah, well, actually, wait, before we get into this, I just want to preface that I'm interested to see how this artist analysis goes, because I think this is the first one we've done where neither of us really knew much of the material before going into it. Like, I had listened to the first album, which I will say again in a second here, but I had listened to that before, but I had not listened to basically anything else in his discography other than ones that one of my friends had shown me.
I have heard songs here and there.
Yeah, because your brother, you said, is really...
Yes, he's a big fan.
Yes.
So he'll love this one.
Yeah.
Maybe, depending on what we say.
Yes. But, yeah, I think it'll be interesting in that regard, but also I don't think either of us will be able to go too much into specifics on a lot of stuff, because I have listened to a lot of Kid Cudi in the last week, along with everything else that I had to listen to for this week. But, yeah. Okay. Preface over. Man on the Moon, End of Day. I first listened to this album earlier this year. Hello? Okay. It's down here? What the fuck? Okay. First listened to this album earlier this year, and I've revisited it a few times since. I think there's a really solid vibe here that is fun to listen to, but also has great spots that are genuinely impressive. God damn it. Sorry. There's great hooks all throughout this thing, and I love the presence of the strings that give it a real like 808s and heartbreaks feel. It has a very similar feel to that album, like a lot, but this coming from like the same time, and I think that's where Cudi got a lot of his initial like mainstream exposure, was from that album, because I think that was the first time he and Kanye had collaborated.
No idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. As someone who doesn't... What the fuck? Why did I... It looks like I do when I type like that. As someone who doesn't smoke, I can't relate too much to the actual lyrics being said, but I don't really mind them too much. I think this album really struggles when it comes to its verses, though. Like I said, there are solid choruses all throughout this thing, but I feel like the verses tend to be a little bit filler to me. I'm also not huge on all of these vocal performances. It has a cool raw sound to it. But there are some points where I wish he just did a different vocal take. What the fuck is going on with this? Where I just wish he did another vocal take to make it sound just maybe a little bit better. I see why others love this album so much, though, and I agree that it is pretty good. My favorites on here were Intergalactic, Pursuit of Happiness, Day and Night, Cudi Zone, My World, Up and Away, Simple As, and Soundtrack to My Life. My least favorites were Make Her Say, Alive, and Sky Might Fall. And overall, I gave it a light 8. Pretty enjoyable.
All right. Yeah. Man on the Moon, The End of Day. It's a very solid debut. There's something enthralling about Cudi's voice because of how deep it is, I think. And it just makes... And it makes him sing about weed for an hour enjoyable throughout. For a vast majority. The production is super smooth with a mix of that 2000s hip hop, late 2000s hip hop, and also some good orchestral stuff. I had a fun time jamming throughout this album, but that being said, some songs just get lost in the fray and just aren't very memorable between the bangers. Yeah. My favorites were Day and Night, Soundtrack to My Life, Heart of a Lion, Pursuit of Happiness, and Solo Dolo. And my least favorites were Simple As and Higher. And I give it a light 8 as well.
Okay. Alrighty, alright.
Oh. And then we go to Man on the Moon 2, The Legend of Mr. Rager from 2010. It always worries me a little when artists pump out an album 1 year after the other, just because I always prefer, quality over quantity. But the sequel isn't half bad. I like the different production with some of the rock influence in parts, and the features are great. Even Kanye, which is unfortunate that I have to say, because that song bangs.
I mean, they were a big duo pair for a long time. So,
I know, but
yeah.
Now it's unfortunate. Back then, it'd be like, whoa!
Yeah.
But now it's like, ooh. But that song bangs, so it's okay. This album isn't perfect, but it is. But it only really lost me in a couple points. Overall, I still think this record is super solid. My favorites are Ghost, Erase Me Main, Scott Mescudi versus the World, Mr. Rager, and Maniac. And my least favorites were Wildin' 'Cause I'm Young and The Mood. I give it a solid 7.
All right. Yeah. Man on the Moon 2, Legend of Mr. Rager, 2010. Part 2 of the Moon Trilogy is a pretty good entry. There are some things I respect about this album more than the first. For one, the vocals are consistently better throughout. The album also gets a little more druggy, which in turn makes it feel a little more focused to me. I think some of the beats sounded more mature and refined as well. But the songs as a whole aren't as strong. There's some great shit on here, but also a lot that was just alright. The lowlights aren't like super low. They're just a little more boring than the others. But overall, I still had a pretty good time with the highlights on this record. My favorites were Ashton Kutcher, Mr. Rage, These Worries, Scott Mescudi versus the World, Don't Play This Song, Maniac, and Erase Me. And my least favorites were Wildin' 'Cause I'm Young. I remember also not liking that one that much. What do you...
Ghost?
Ghost? Yeah, I remember not liking that one.
Dude, that's such a good song.
Oh, okay. I don't remember exactly why. It may have been the vocals. I don't know.
Oh.
Weites and The Mood. Those are my least favorites. And overall, I gave it a light 7.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Okie
right.
dokie. Yeah, there's not as much discourse on this one because
Ghost.
there's a lot that I don't remember. I think it was vocals on that one. I don't know.
Maybe, but like even it's like, God, it's really good. It's a really good song.
Okay. I don't know. What do I know? Nothing. Yeah, then we move on to 2013 with Indicud. Yeah, I actually really dug a lot of the production on this project. It takes a bit more of a synthy/electronic approach to the instrumentals, and I think that works well with the darker sound palettes that Cudi likes to work with. However, even though I praised the druggier feel of the last record, this one took it a little too far. Cudi sounds too zooted to even sing in the same key as some of these tracks, and his vocal performances were slightly unbearable to listen to on here. And even though I liked the production on this album, this track list in particular suffered from being an hour long because the soundscape that I did like got pretty boring after about the halfway point. Some of the features were pretty cool on here. I didn't look at them before I hit play, and it was kind of cool hearing Kendrick and Father John Misty on some of these tracks and just being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Being completely thrown off.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, well, that's what I was listening in the car, and I was like, is that Father John Misty? What
Sure
the hell? Yeah. But yeah, it was cool hearing them on some of these tracks, but they didn't really redeem their respective tracks all too much. Kendrick did make his track a little bit better. Mm. But yeah, there's been a lot of mids so far, but Girls is the first track that I have genuinely despised on this journey. And I can kind of, I guess, give a little bit of a spoiler. That's still a pretty low light in the entire discography. That chorus is annoying and awful. Other than that, there's some cool stuff on here, but the vocals tend to ruin any enjoyment I can get out of the interesting instrumentals. And my favorites were Cold Blooded, King Wizard, Solo Dolo Part 2, The Resurrection of Scott Mescudi, Lord of Sad and Lonely, and my least favorites were Girls, Afterwards, Bring Your Friends, Mad Solar, Immortal, and Unfuckwittable. And overall, I gave it a strong 5.
Unfuckwittable, man. What?
I did not like the vocals on that one at all.
On.
I like the beat on it a lot. I remember that.
Song.
I remember being like, this beat is great, but this chorus is so bad.
I like the chorus on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Into Cud. 2013. Are we getting the idea that this guy may like drugs?
Yes.
This album starts off well with a banger of Unfuckwittable and an interesting instrumental track to, begin the album. But a little after that, it gets pretty mid with some of the first tracks that I've actively disliked in his discography thus far. I like some of the production choices and most of the features, namely Kendrick and Rocky, but the RZA or RZA, it's RZA, right?
I think.
Yeah, the RZA verse is some of the worst lyricism I've ever heard. It's an okay album, but definitely not his best. My favorites were Unfuckwittable, Young Lady, Solo Dolo Part 2, Brothers, and King Wizard. My least favorites were Bees, Girls, New York City, Rage Fest. I just didn't remember that one too much, so I put it in there. And then afterwards, Bring Your Friends. That song is so fucking weird.
I kind of remember it.
I think it's Michael Bolton is on it, and his singing just does not add anything, and it's so out of place in the whole thing. It's like this weird dance track.
Yeah, I kind of remember that about
what
it.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
it was just did not fit the vibe at all. But my favorites were pretty good. But Girls is awful, like you were saying.
Yes.
Very, very bad song.
Yes. Yeah, and it's mostly the chorus. I mean, well, actually, I don't want to say that because I don't remember what the verses were like. But the chorus is what is kind of seared into my mind. Just like, oh,
it's just like it's weird. Like he talks a lot about sex throughout all of his discography, but that song is just very like, oh,
yeah,
ew.
Yeah.
But I give it a decent 6.
Okay.
And next we get into Kid Cudi presents Satellite Flight, The Journey to Mother Moon in 2014. Oh, he also likes the moon a lot, too. Mm-hmm. Moon and drugs.
He likes some space stuff.
Yeah. The moon and drugs. I don't really know what this record was supposed to be. It's kind of boring, and the lyrics are pretty much nothing for the most part. The instrumentals are the most interesting part, and sometimes feel like they're supposed to be like spacey or ethereal, but they don't super accomplish that for me. Other than at a few points, it definitely doesn't get to the point where like Splendor and Misery, where it feels very spacey and ethereal, and it's just like does it super well. I don't have much to say about this album other than like okay. Like I really just don't understand the point of it. My favorites were Too Bad I Have to Destroy You Now, Going to the Ceremony, Internal Bleeding, and Troubled Boy. And my least favorite was Balmain Jeans. I give it a late 5.
All right. Satellite Flight, Journey to Mother Moon, 2014. Oh, what the fuck?
What?
Did I not write a review for this? Wait, what the hell?
Uh-oh.
How did I forget to do that? Okay.
Did you do it on Album of the Year?
No, I don't think so. Well, I can kind of talk a little off the cuff on this one. That's weird as hell. No, like, I know I'm tired right now, but, like, I wasn't when I did this. Damn. Okay. That is so strange. I can kind of talk a little off the cuff. I did kind of like the vibe of this album. I don't know why. But, like, something about, like, the really spacey sounds I thought was really interesting. And I think I've always kind of liked... I mean... I do like Cudi's voice, but the instrumentals, I think he has a cool sound that he likes to go for, and mixing it with like the spacey sounds and like the synths and all that kind of stuff, I thought was pretty intriguing and was pretty enjoyable to me. I wasn't a huge fan on that Balmain Jeans. No, Ball Drain.
Ball Drain. Yeah. Balmain Jeans.
Yeah, Balmain Jeans. I wasn't a huge fan of that track either because that stuck out like a sore thumb in the middle of this, like, I guess somewhat atmospheric type album. But I did like it quite a bit still. I thought it was a pretty good album, and I'm sorry that I forgot to write a fucking review for this. What the hell?
That's why you gotta go with the good old pen and paper, baby.
Yeah, well, I usually do it like right after I listen, so I don't know. My favorites were Going to the Ceremony, Copernicus Landing, Too Bad I Have to Destroy You Now, In My Dreams 2015, and Troubled Boy. And my least favorites were Internal Bleeding and Satellite Flight. I think I kind of liked the beat on the Ball Main Jeans.
My main qualms were like
the lyrics were not great. Yeah. No, they really weren't. But overall, I give it a light 7. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Next.
Oh boy.
All right.
Here we are.
Now we're on to Speed and Bullet to Heaven, 2015. Low key, this was the album I was most excited to hear. I've heard so much awful shit about this record. From a lot of different sources, and it's one of Fantano's notorious zeros. And
notorious zeros.
Notorious. Did I say notorious?
Yeah, you said notorious zeros.
Okay, notorious zeros. And I guess fun fact about that: Cudi is the only artist currently, and probably for the foreseeable future, who has gotten both a 0 and a 10 from Fantano.
Why did you give it 10?
Kids See Ghosts.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah, I mean that's a high accomplishment because both of those are pretty rare scores to get from him. So,
yeah.
Anyways, yeah. While it's still pretty painful to sit through, I don't think it's as bad as people like to make it out to be. A lot of people like to say that Joji's album this year was unfinished, but I think this is the true definition of an unfinished album. From bland mixing to mind-numbing repetition to vocal performances that sound really off with the rock sound. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a rock album. Apparently grunge.
Yeah,
I don't know too much grunge aside from Nirvana, so I don't know. But
it's not good grunge.
Well, yes. Yes. These 26 tracks all feel like they were slapped together in one take because they all feel like demos and bad demos at that. There are moments on here where I like a certain riff or drum pattern, but it is usually repeated to death until I find no enjoyment in it by the end of the track. I think I would hate this project a lot more if it sounded like Cudi hated it as well. Because I can say a lot about his off-key and moany vocal performances on this album, but at least it sounds like he wants to make this album. He just didn't take any time at all to adapt into like the world of grunge. Aside from a track or two, the only thing on here that is straight up difficult to listen to, like hard to listen to, is the Beavis and Butthead sketches sprinkled throughout. Good God, were those annoying and awful, and did they really have to last for like 3+ minutes each? I've never watched that show, but that was just auditory torture. Most of this album just sounds like unfinished demos of song ideas and is way, way too long. I think there's some things to be said about this record coming from an extremely dark time in Cudi's life. I was looking up some stuff after I listened to it, and there's like interviews and stuff where he's like even saying like, nah, I don't want to talk about that time in my life. That was like the lowest point. And the general feel and the lyrics are reflecting of that at points, but the music itself is just borderline unlistenable. But yeah, my favorites on here was Confused. By a long shot, it was Confused. I remember that one was like, yeah, this is fine. But yeah, I found some enjoyment in Wedding Tux and Fuchsia Butterflies as well. My least favorites are every second of the Beavis and Butthead skits, the return of Chip Douglas, Man in the Nights, Adventures, The Nothing, Wait, Fade to Red, Seance Chaos, and Red Sabbath, and overall I gave it a light 2.
Yeah. Okay. I was in the same boat, really. I didn't know much about this album other than it was 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me it was grunge. So, yeah, Speed and Bullet to Heaven. I haven't felt some of the emotions I felt while listening to this album since Mainstream Sellout. While I don't think it's absolutely unlistenable, it is about an hour too long, and Cudi should never do this shit ever again. I like a good bit of the instrumentals, and I appreciate how raw some of the lyrics are, but Cudi's voice was not meant for grunge at all, and just does not fit in with the sound of this album at all.
Yeah.
Also, what the fuck are those Beavis and Butthead skits? They completely caught me off guard and made me hate this experience even more. There have been previous Cudi songs with rock influence that I liked quite a bit, which is another reason why I find it so confusing that this turned out like it did. Not good, Cudi. Not good at all.
Yes.
My faves were Confused by a long shot, like you said. This is the only one that I really enjoyed. And then the title track, which I thought was okay. And my least favorites were a vast majority. I give it a light 2 as well.
All right.
That was a struggle.
That was an experience, all right.
I
never doing it again.
No,
but it happened once.
Yeah, I put this album on while I was like playing Call of Duty, just like help me get through it. And just I'm running around shooting people, and I'm just hearing this shit, and I'm like, oh god!
You're just shooting people, and you're hearing, yeah,
Beavis, yeah,
yes,
not fun. When that first happened, I was like,
I can imagine.
What?
Yeah, I had heard about the Beavis and Butthead sketches, but I forgot about them until they happened, and I was like, "Oh God, I forgot." And I did not know they lasted that long.
Yeah, I was like, "How many times does this happen?"
Like, imagine Colin did that laugh for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding. That is the skit.
Yeah.
And it's like pan too, so you hear one of their annoying laughs in this ear and the other one in this ear, and it's like, I'm going to die.
What are these mushrooms?
Yeah.
It's like just.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we go a year later into Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying in 2016. What a drastic 180 from the last project in only a year.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was only a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he kind of probably had to make something pretty. I don't want to say made it really quick, but
yeah,
it's probably encouraged to.
Buddy. But this album wasn't doing it for me in the first few songs. I wasn't digging the vocals or the lyrics really, but the production was super clean. Around the midpoint, though, things started to pick up with some solid features and the return of some orchestral inclusions. But the end is by far the best portion of this record. It felt like Cudi really got his feet back underneath him, and it just felt more complete. I think from Kitchen to Surfin', this album really picked itself up for me. This album does struggle with another monstrous hour and 30 runtime. And there are a couple mid to bad songs throughout it that stop him from being really great. But it is a pretty good album. And it's much, much better than Speeding Bullet. So that's all I could ask for. But my favorites were Kitchen, The Guide, Surfin', Rose Golden, and Cosmic Warrior. My least favorites were Dance for Eternity, Distant Fantasies, and Flight at First Sight / Advanced. And I give it a late 7.
All right. Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying 2016. All right. Well, we are back in listenable territory. I think in terms of a consistent vibe that a whole record is going for, this is probably my favorite so far. There is a much clearer attempt at making a dark synth pop, somewhat akin to his first albums, but with more emphasis on the pop. I liked a lot of the synths incorporated throughout this project, and they worked really well with the underlying beats as well. The first part of this record was very enjoyable. Yeah, we kind of had flip-flopped opinions on this, not going to lie. Okay. The first part of this record was very enjoyable, but Cudi stretches out the length of this record again. Like Colin was saying, it's an hour and a half long again. The second part of this thing gets really mid to me, and I have no strong feelings one way or the other on a lot of them. The tracks aren't super memorable, but they're also doing enough creative stuff where it's not bad. I was actually about to give this album a decent X. We'll get into what X is. Until Surfin' came up and bumped the whole record up to a strong X. Yeah. That song fucking bangs. It really does. And it low-key may be my favorite track I've heard in this listening. Huh? Even though it's not in his usual style. God bless Pharrell Williams. Anyways,
this really makes me happy.
Anyways, this was a huge step up from the last project, but it's also too long for its own good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize my own inflection in that sentence. Yeah, it's too long for its own good. Too long. And yeah, my favorites were Surfin', Rose Golden, All In, Frequency, By Design, and Does It. And my least favorites were Distant Fantasies, Ill Illusions, The Guide, Releaser, and Cosmic Warrior. And overall, I gave it a strong 6.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
well, you next.
Yep, me again. All right, now we're moving on to Man on the Moon 3, The Chosen, from 2020. So yeah, after years of playing with a bunch of different sounds, Cudi puts together this project which has a lot more mainstream flares to it. This is probably why I've heard so much about this album in random music discussion discourse, because it is by far the most like accessible of his work. It's not that his work is inaccessible, but this is just like, pretty much anybody could listen to this if they like hip hop stuff. Yeah. But most of the beats are trap influenced. There's a lot of heavy 808s. Many big name rappers features, and this is the type of project where most of the songs, what the fuck? What is wrong with me? This is the type of project where most of the songs can get placed on a playlist, just for whatever reason. And to be clear, I don't think this is an inherently bad thing. The success obviously worked for him, and I'm happy that it did. I just feel like for me personally, there wasn't a lot here that I gravitated towards. I've talked about it before, but straight up mainstream hip hop doesn't really do that much for me personally. I like this project, and I would likely listen to it again, to be honest with you. It sounded fine going through one ear, but it would kind of go straight out the other more often than not. I didn't love much on here, but I also didn't hate much. All I can say is that the beats were pretty good throughout, and Cudi slips into this style pretty effortlessly. I just didn't really get much out of this listen because I'm not a huge fan of the style. My favorites were Tequila Shots, Lovin' Me, She Knows This, and September 16th, and my least favorites were Elsie's Baby Boy and Heaven on Earth. And overall, I gave it like a decent 6 because a lot of it was just, I don't know, like I said, it was all very middle of the road for me to like just kind of good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Man on the Moon 3. All we needed was another trip to the moon to fix everything. Most things. The major inclusion of trap on top of his usual rapping and saying was very welcome, and it fit the vibe of this record really well. The features are all pretty solid. One of which being Phoebe Bridgers, which was which is a very welcome and interesting inclusion for a Cudi album. But yeah, it was pretty good. There's a lot of bangers on this album with a good balance of the emotional songs, and I think that's one of his strengths that he stayed true to throughout most of his discography. But yeah, this is the best one since Man on the Moon 2, and I also think it's a bit better than that as well. My favorites were Tequila Shots, The Void, Lovin' Me, Lord I Know, Rockstar Nights, and Solo Dolo Part 3. And my least favorites were Dive, Elsie's Baby Boy, and Damaged, and I give it a strong 7.
Alright.
I did kind of enjoy the mainstream feel to it.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't really enjoy, I don't know, I'm just not as much into that kind of stuff in general, so.
That's fair.
Yeah. But, I didn't dislike it. Like I said, probably stronger chance of me really listening to this than most of the albums here, so. I don't know. It's a weird balance. Yeah.
Then we get into his latest and maybe last album, Intergalactic, in 2022. I think this album does a good job of balancing being a soundtrack and being an album on its own. The production is super smooth, staying within the realm of Cudi's usual stuff, if not even a little more lush at points. There aren't many features, but the Ty Dolla $ign ones had really surprisingly good singing from Ty.
Did you not know that Ty Dolla $ign does like...
I didn't know anything about Ty.
He does like angelic singing.
I had no idea.
That's like one of the things he's known for.
I just thought he was a rapper. I heard his name before. I'm sure I've heard him on stuff, but I didn't know he was singing.
I can't think of any off the top of my head that you would know, but his singing voice is...
Yeah. Wonderful. It was really good.
Yeah.
I saw his name. I was like, okay, well, I'm sure it'll be good, but I was not expecting the really good singing. So, yeah. If Cudi were to go out on this record, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I think it'd be a little disappointing that it wasn't just solely an album to be an album. Overall, though, Intergalactic is solid, and I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had watched the movie before listening to the album. But I might do that over break. We'll see. My faves were Maybe So, Willing to Trust, In Love, Do What I Want, and Can't Shake Her. And my least favorites were Angel, by far, very bad song, and Can't Believe It. And I give it a decent 7.
All right. Intergalactic 2022. Our journey, as well as Cudi's journey, comes to an end here at this year's Intergalactic. While I believe it serves as a soundtrack, it also has been marketed as his final album. I've watched this thing released on Album of the Year, seen it get blasted with mid scores, and even my friend who's a big Cudier, I don't know what his fans are called, my friend told me it's not worth the listen. But if I'm being honest, I thought this was one of his better projects. Certainly not his best. The last leg of this album was kind of a whimper to go out on, but it is probably his most consistently enjoyable album for me. It takes the more mainstream production of his last record, but adapts it to fit more of his traditional sound. And the product of those two worlds is something that I wish I heard more of in his albums, to be honest with you. I especially wish we heard some more of the ethereal moments from him, like Maybe So. The strings and synths on that track were beautiful, and it complemented his voice in like the best way possible. The features in the first half were pretty good. The beats sucked me in more than they had been doing throughout this analysis. I don't know. I personally liked this quite a bit. Strong ending for me, aside from the actual ending of the album. And I gave a little thumbs up emoji. My favorites were Maybe So. I like that track a lot.
Yeah, really
Do What I Want, Ignite the Love, Can't Believe It, and Intergalactic Theme. And my least favorites were Angel, Living My Truth, My Drug, and She's Looking for Me. And overall, I gave it a light 7.
Yeah. When that orchestral stuff came in on Maybe So, I was like, ooh!
I wish that had been happening. I mean, like, I guess he kind of played with it in, like, the first 2 albums. But, like, it was a lot more electronic orchestra stuff.
No, like, he's done orchestral stuff throughout the first Man on the Moon, the second one, and then, like, later on, Passion, Pain, Demon Slayin'. But it wasn't, like, a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But when it did happen, I did enjoy it quite a bit. But, like, having the actual orchestra, it felt like maybe it was...
Maybe So definitely had real players.
And maybe that had to do with it being for Netflix, and Netflix was like, go all out. Fucking do it.
Yeah.
That, it
was beautiful.
But it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorites on this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Overall thoughts? Well... I was going to write this last night, but I got really tired. I can kind of...
What?
I was prepared to go off the cuff for this one, though. So this one... this isn't the first time I've done my overall thoughts off the cuff, but... I did it for our last one, too. Who was our last one?
21 Pilots?
21 Pilots? Maybe I didn't do it for that. I don't remember. But anyways, overall thoughts on Kid Cudi. I did kind of go into this not really expecting too much. I knew he had a different sound that I usually don't vibe with all that much. But I did like end up liking a lot more of this stuff than I thought I would. Like a lot of it was, I don't know, it definitely filled a vibe. And I thought it was pretty good for the most part. I really like the stuff I really love how he, God damn, I realize why I fucking write these things out beforehand. But I really like the sound that he goes for. The instrumentals, the chords, and all that kind of shit. His voice, I do like when he's singing in key. I do like when he's doing that. And, the mumbles that he's known for, the moaning singing, like...
We are...
Yeah. Like... It's good. I do like it when it's used properly. And I do like that he likes to experiment with stuff as well. Say what you will about Speeding Bullet to Heaven, and there's a lot to be said about that. But he did just straight up, change genres because, he felt like it. And
reminds me of somebody else.
Who in particular?
Our Lord and Savior.
MGK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Love you, Colton. This is an MGK safe space. But yeah, no, I ended up getting more enjoyment out of this than I thought I would have. I was expecting most of his stuff to land in like a 5 to 6 range. Well, there still were quite a bit of projects of his that were in that. I also gave out a lot more like 7s than I thought I was going to. You know, I thought there's like albums here that I would return to more than I thought I would. But yeah, no, I mean, he has a lot of good stuff going for him. I can see why people love his stuff a lot, and I completely understand it. It's just not for me most of the time. But I still enjoy being an outsider every now and then, if that makes sense. I think that's a good way to put it. But yeah, overall, I would give him like a strong 6. I think a strong 6. Yeah.
All right. Gotta turn the page. Yeah. Overall, Scott Mescudi is a truly interesting artist. He's made some truly iconic music for better or worse, featuring some huge names, again, for better or worse. But I feel like he's been very authentic throughout his entire career. Always willing to write music about how he's feeling in whatever flavor he decided to make an album out of. And I feel like that's kind of unique. It's not a perfect discography, but there's a lot of good stuff throughout a vast majority of it. Just probably steer clear of Speeding Bullet to Heaven if you're gonna listen to his stuff. Yes. But yeah, I think he's very raw. He's very, he's always willing to talk about what's going on in here, which some artists are not, and I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I my overall rating, I did like the calculations and everything. It came out to a solid 6. So yeah.
Okay.
And then the rankings.
Cool. Yeah, I did do the rankings. Don't worry. Okay. My album ranking is Man on the Moon, End of Day, Man on the Moon 2, Legend of Mr. Rager, then Satellite Flight, Journey to Mother Moon, then Intergalactic, then Passion and Pain and Demon Slaying, then Man on the Moon 3, The Chosen, then Indicud, then Speed and Bullet to Heaven.
All right. And mine is Man on the Moon 1, Man on the Moon 3, Man on the Moon 2, Intergalactic, Passion, Pain and Demon Slaying, Indicud, Satellite Flight, and Speed and Bullet to Heaven.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of the stuff has a very similar rating, except for Speed and Bullet. Yeah. So a lot of mine is like, I don't want to say interchangeable, but like they're not too far from each other. Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you want to get into Song of the Week then?
Yeah, sure. You're
cool.
up. So
I am up. Getting a phone
calls
call
live on the pod.
I think the MD. What's MD? Is that
what the fuck? I think it's Maryland.
Oh, what shit. MD?
What the? No, shut up.
MD State.
Yes, yeah. Maryland.
Getting
a call from the government.
Yeah. Oh well. I just
hung up on Joe Biden. Yeah. Yeah, Joe was giving you a little ring.
I was gonna go with one of the, 2 of my favorite songs by him were in your least favorites for those albums. But I was like listening to his like best of compilation record on the way here, and that single that was never released officially until that came out. Came on and I was like, ooh, that's really fucking good. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with Love by Kid Cudi.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, that was Love by Kid Cudi. What did you think?
I thought it was really good. I mean, I think that's the first Cudi song I've ever like straight up listened to, because my friend sent that to me before it was even properly released. Mm-hmm. Probably maybe even like a year ago now. I think I was still working at Amazon. I don't know. Yeah, no, I thought that was a great song, and I have thought that's a great song for a while now. The chorus is great. I like a lot of the production elements on it a lot too. Honestly, one of his best, and I'm glad that it's properly released now.
Yeah, me too. Great song.
Yeah.
But what do you got? I love that song. It's great.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I talked about it like it was my song of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. Maybe this is just
a cock in my ass, huh?
Mm-hmm. We're just gonna give no context.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. I think maybe this may just be a product of us not having really listened to his stuff before. But I also wanted to go with something that I was, I guess a little more familiar with, and that I did like a lot from Cudi and have liked a lot from him for a while now. And my main exposure to him has been through Kids See Ghosts. So I'm going to go with Colin's favorite album. I'm going to go with Reborn, though, which I think is one of his best vocal performances and like lyrics and stuff. So yeah, Reborn by Kids See Ghosts.
I'm so reborn. I'm moving forward.
All right, Reborn by Kids See Ghosts. What'd you think of that?
Good song. Yeah, it does have Cudi's like one of his best performances on there.
Mm.
It's good, if not a little bit repetitive, but it's all right. Kids See Ghosts is just overrated. Everyone's like, "It's a 10, it's so good." And I listened to it, I was like, "Yeah, it's all right."
You're just gonna die on this hill, aren't you?
I will.
One day you'll come around. But
I'll never listen to it again. Just for that.
Just so you don't come around.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than the old fucking dinosaur who's in that song as well. Even though I think those are some of his better lyrics, and he should listen to them. He should re-listen to some of those lyrics about him calling himself off the meds and insane. Because he still is.
Do you think dinosaurs were anti-Semitic?
I mean, I think they were just kind of anti-human.
Yeah, but they didn't know what humans were. But do you think if they were alive today, they'd be like, "I hate Jewish people"?
I mean, if we take Cudi's word for what an old fucking dinosaur looks like, then yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Anyways, I like Reborn a lot. I think, especially even after knowing some of his darker troubles with, drug addiction and all that kind of shit, that song, it boosts that even more. Just, that whole just positive, just, keep moving forward. I'm so reborn. Yeah, it's great. I love that track a lot. And yeah, I like that song.
Yeah, I had this thought while listening to his stuff on the way here. I was like, what would have gone hard? A collab with Mac Miller.
Yeah, they would have complimented each other.
I think they would
well.
have been great.
I'm surprised that doesn't exist, actually.
I mean, it may somewhere.
Maybe. Hold on.
I don't know.
Mac Miller and Kid Cudi.
Let's see.
Looks like they were on. Wait, is this a real thing? I'm not sure if this is a real thing.
No, that's a Weekend song.
No, that's not a real thing. 198 views, not official. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, here, Reddit post.
No.
Hey, Reddit's good for information like this. He was a cameo on one of Cudi's "Just What I Am" music video. So.
That's it. No.
I guess they never made a song together. You're right though. Yeah, no, they would work together really well.
Yeah. Also, I think that he had really good artwork throughout his whole discography.
I would agree.
As well. He's got some really good stuff, especially Man on the Moon 3.
Yeah,
it's
gorgeous. I love that one a lot.
Yeah, I think it's funny that neither of us chose a song from his actual discography.
I do kind of chalk it up to us not being as familiar with his stuff. So, yeah, no, I really like all of his album covers. I'm not as huge on Indica and Satellite Flight.
Yeah, I mean, Satellite Flight looks cool, kind of, but
it's maybe it's just a low quality picture on Album of the Year, possibly. But yeah, I even like the art cover to Speed and Bullet to Heaven. Like, fine. I think it looks kind of fun.
Yeah. The one my least favorite is probably Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, just because it's really purple, just kind of standing there.
I think it's a cool color palette.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I like the use of purple in a lot of his stuff because purple's my favorite color. Yeah. But great album covers and art. Off topic, but I forgot to talk about it earlier. I posted we both posted our top albums of the year on TikTok on our separate pages, and it's still getting likes and comments and stuff. But here, let me see if I can find some.
Okay.
Just because I was
you were getting some interesting comments on yours. They were listen to this, listen to this, listen to this, and I was I never fucking heard of that. A little.
Yeah, one from a couple hours ago was Waiting to Spill at 5 Dog. I was like, man, that doesn't mean it's not good. Somebody said the Joe album was a vibe album of the year. I was like, yeah, fuck you, bro. No.
Yes, it was.
W Backseat Lovers Stick Season. Hello. I was like, I have never heard of that.
What was it called?
Stick Season.
Stick, like it's just spelled normally?
Yeah. By Noah Khan.
What the fuck?
Kahan. He's got like 8 million listeners on Spotify, but no official publication has reviewed this album on Album of the Year or at all, I guess.
I've never fucking heard of
I've
this.
never heard of it, but I was like...
I've never heard of him either.
Yeah.
Noah Kahan.
I was like, I've never heard of that, but I'll check it out. And then somebody responded to that saying, it's one of the most heartbreaking folk albums I've ever heard.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then somebody recommended like Blue Rev by Alves.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
YAS or something like that.
Yeah, that one I've seen some discourse on this.
Yeah,
one.
I listened to it on the way.
Shoegaze? I did not know that.
I listened to it on the way home from Secret Santa, and it wasn't the vibe for the drive, but I mean, from what I heard, it was pretty good. The shoegaze is definitely there.
Okay,
but it's kind of repetitive.
I mean, a lot of shoegaze stuff can get like that. It's definitely a vibe type thing for me personally.
But yeah, and then somebody said, "There's no way you like these more than King Push." And I was like, I have not listened to it. It's almost dry.
Yeah,
but
I've heard it's good. Yeah,
I'll check it out for you.
See, what weed is to Cudi is cocaine to Pusha T, from as far as I'm aware. I know he has a lot of coke bars.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right, well, yeah, I was just like, oh, this is fun. I'll post this. And it has a good amount of likes and views and stuff. I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
But like the
comments have been interesting.
Yeah, the TikTok algorithms it's very weird, and I don't understand it. But
yeah, mine were a lot more supportive so far.
Yeah.
They've been like, oh, great
like,
list,
based, bro,
yeah.
based, and mine's been like, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this.
Yeah.
Joe at 1?
Yeah. Backseat Lovers at 5? Yeah.
I mean, it's still fun. I like hearing people's opinions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I just
sure.
wanted to talk about those things.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's been getting some good likes and stuff. I posted mine last night, so yeah.
But yeah, I posted my top songs on top movies of the year too. So if you want, if you want to check out our individual TikToks, they're always tagged in the BrokeN Boys TikTok, so you can just go there and look at those.
Description.
Yep. But
what else is in the description, Colin?
Yeah, let's talk about that. But not before we say thanks for watching, thanks for listening. If you're on streaming services, we love you very much, parasocially and romantically.
Sexually.
Oh, passion, pain, and
if you're over 18,
yes. Only if you're over 18 and consenting.
Yes.
Of course, because we're not horrible people. Right?
Yes.
Good.
We only... Never mind, I can't make that bit because we talked about that in the other episode. I was going to talk about...
Our amazing bit from the episode.
Not that one. Yeah, not the amazing bit that they're all going to love so much, but it was one of the things that... It was what we... That bit started from us trying to get away from the bit of us beating women.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll love both of those bits.
Just a little sneak peek for
Yeah. Both of those bits are fantastic, and you definitely need to watch that episode because you do not want to miss those. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're on YouTube and you just want to hear us on streaming services, we're on everything you can think of. Apple Music, Spotify, other things. Rate us 5 stars. Give us some reviews. Say how much you love us, Give us all your love and attention. If you want to listen to our songs of the week, you can. There are 3 playlists, not podcasts. One for Mike, one for me, and one for both of us together. You can listen to Love or or Reborn by Kid Cudi, and all of the different and just the monstrous amount of songs that are on those playlists. It's hours and hours long. They're there though, so go listen to those. Mike also made a couple playlists, or is going to make a couple playlists of our top songs of the year.
Yeah, those are linked in the last episode if you want to check those out.
So you can go check those out. If you want to find us other places, Mike's everywhere. He's everywhere, dude. He's right behind you. Look out! He's gonna ask you to kiss him
Consensually. And over 18.
Yes, only if you're over 18. If you're under 18, he'll give you a nice consensual hug.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a high five.
I think that's the way to go.
But yeah, you can find his album of the year where he reviews music. He's got a TikTok. He's got a YouTube. He's got his own music. You can go listen to Coping Mechanism, which is fantastic. One of my favorite albums of the year. Has my favorite song of the year on it. And his soundtrack for the student film that he scored, Red Under Wraps. It's there, and you can listen to it.
Yes, you can.
It's got some good stuff.
Yes.
You can... he's everywhere. Just look him up. Plaintive.
Just look him up,
yeah. You'll find him, especially in the description. You can find me some places too. I got an album of the year as well. I reviewed all the Kid Cudi albums as I was listening to them. They're all there in their list. Unlike the 21 Pilots one, where I didn't fill in that list until like 5 weeks after that episode came out. But they're there. You can look at my album of the year lists as well. I review a lot of shit on there. You can also look at my letterbox, where I review movies. It's very fun. I'm a bit of a film bro, but not a toxic one. Film buff, if you will. I run the TikTok and the Twitter for the podcast. You can look at those. Those are fun. And then I also have an old Instagram review page that I once used a long time ago in a galaxy far away. But it's there, and you can dust it off. Look, if
you want some more in depth on 21 Pilots.
Yeah, you can look through the cobwebs and see. Whoa, Circles by Mac Miller, Razzmatazz, but I don't know how, but they found me. Harry Styles. There's a ton of shit in there that you can look at, but it'll never be used again. It's there though. But I think that's it.
Yeah.
And we will see you in 2 weeks after the Brokies.
Yes. You won't see us on the Brokies.
No. We are not the hosts this year. We got new people to do it.
Yeah. And make sure you look forward to the episode after that, where we will be doing brackets of Harry Styles. And but more importantly, look forward to the best bit we've ever done on this podcast at the end of that episode.
Literally my favorite thing we've ever done.
Yes.
It is so fucking funny, and both of us were on board the entire time.
Yes.
Neither of us wanted to stop the bit 3 times each.
Yes.
It was just fantastic. Great.
It was a consensual bit.
We're all about consent, baby.
Yes.
As you should be too. Thank you, MILFs, for watching. We'll see you on our bracket. I hope you enjoy the Brokies.
See you in the new year as well.
It'll be a good one. Hopefully. 2023, hoping for good things.
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoy the Brokies. Hope your votes for the winners won. I know you never saw them, but they're there, and you can vote before we reveal the answers. Or they reveal the answers.
Yes.
But hope you had a good holiday season, and we'll see you on the flippity flop.
See you guys.